Well, hey guys, this is a second video that I'm posting in response to some of the questions that you asked me. The first one I think was a little bit laggy, sorry about that. This one won't be, because I'm recording it on my iPhone, which I probably should have done the first time, and maybe I'll even fix the first one. But I want to pick up with this. Just a reminder, I'm going to put a link in the comments to all the questions you ask me, so you can get some direct answers instead of having to listen to the entire video. The last one is 17 minutes, and some of you guys don't want to watch that, so there you go. So I'm just going to take these in no particular order, just like I did last time. Here we go. So is it okay to just walk into a government building? Like, it's kind of terrifying how easy it was for people to do that. How are there going to be any kind of arrest, or how will there be any kind of arrest in America? Will we ever have unity, or is this the thing that divides our country? It's scary to think about, incredibly heartbreaking, that people died due to this, and we don't care. We just move on when a great deal of healing needs to occur in the country before we accomplish anything. I think, yeah, that's a great statement. Let me take your question. So, is it okay to just walk into a government building? The answer is yeah, but typically you have to go through checkpoints. Like my wife and I went to Washington, D.C. back in maybe 2010. And we wanted to go to the Capitol building first thing in the morning. And we were in line to do it, and they have this list, you have to go through a checkpoint, you got to go through metal detectors. And one of the things that we couldn't bring in was water. Well, we're in D.C. and it's summer. I'm not going to dump out my water first thing. So we were like, why don't we go across the street to the Supreme Court instead? And that's what we did. So yeah, you can just walk in. It is, they talk about it being the people's house, and it is, but they also want to keep it safe. What happened on Wednesday is not legal, as people were going places that they weren't supposed to go at times they weren't supposed to go there. So it was definite trespassing, and people are getting arrested for that, even back home, because it's all, they got cameras all through that place for security purposes. So no, they shouldn't. Yeah, it was kind of terrifying how easy, and there were a lot of questions about why did the Capitol Police just open the doors and not stop them? There's one really weird video where a reporter is trying to get in, and there's this whole stream of people that are walking in, and the reporter is talking to the policeman there and says, "Can I go in?" And he says, "Nobody can go in." Well, these people are all going in. Well, what's going on? Very weird. Will there be any kind of arrest in the country? Well, yeah. I think there will be. I think it's going to take time. I don't know. I'm trying to decide, even as I talk, if this is more hope or if this is based in fact. I think that this will definitely die down after the inauguration. You're still going to see some people who are like, I don't like Biden. I don't think he's the rightful president, which I've addressed that in my previous video. There are people who aren't going to love him, and definitely folks are going to keep fighting online. That's unavoidable. But I think that there's also a desire by a lot of people to be like, we got to come up and figure out what unites us more than what divides us. Yeah, guys, argue politics. It's fine. I can talk to you about politics and even disagree with you without hating you, and we've got to get back to that point. The problem is that when we talk online, in comments, on Facebook, on whatever, we forget that there's a person on the other side, and we just come up with our sickest burn, even if it doesn't have anything to do with facts or data or actual news sources, and we just kind of go off what we feel, and people just fight online, and it's inevitable that at some point that's going to spill over. So we individually have to realize this and our own role in contributing to this. So I think what we got to do is just say, look, when I want to fight online, I'm not going to do it. And I do that all the time, where I see somebody post something and I'm like, that's stupid. I want to, tell them they're an idiot, and here's why. And then I'm like, but what good is it going to do? People don't change their minds because of what they read online. They just get more angry. So there you go. Is there a civil war about to break out? Do I think the election was fair? I think I already answered that question in the previous video, so check it out. Is Trump getting impeached again? Yeah, at this point it's done. The House voted to impeach him again, and I talked in the last video about why they might do that, even though he's only got 3 days left in office at this point. Is it illegal to storm a federal building? Yes. Regardless of who did it, shouldn't there have been some kind of defense on the government side? Yeah, and that's one of the crazy questions, is we knew that there were threats against the government on that day, because that's the day they were certifying Joe Biden's win. So it seems really strange that they didn't do something. But they didn't. There were a lot of questions to be answered, and even though I have hypotheses, I'm not going to share my hypotheses, because what good does that do? Either I'm right and, okay, I'm right, or I'm wrong and I just, get people all riled up. So forget that. Somebody says, I thought an action like that could be seen as a terrorist threat, and it could have been dealt with as such. Somebody literally took one of the speaker's podiums and put it on sale somewhere. That's government property too. Isn't all this illegal? Yes, yes, yes. I actually found the guy who took the podium. Like, he's in a picture. They arrested him. He lived down in Florida. He's arrested. Like, that's a federal crime, right? Now, are they going to charge him with more than trespassing? Or are they going to say it's a terrorist threat? I don't know, honestly. There's a point at which I'm reading and I kind of disconnect from some of this stuff, because it's too much. It's a lot. But yeah, that you're right about all this stuff. And it is a great question. Why wasn't there more defense? Because they knew this was coming. I will say that we know that the inauguration is another possible point of, contention, we'll just say. It could be a potential problem, which is why the government has put National Guard troops all over the place in D.C. So hopefully we won't see anything else funky go down. Somebody else says, no questions. I've come to terms with how screwed America is, and I don't think it's getting better anytime soon. Yeah, that's a valid answer. Here's the thing. I want to see this country be great. I do. I don't think that anybody, I think very few people are going about it a way that makes sense. One of the things that makes us great, frankly, let me back up. Guys, we disagree over what makes it great. Are we great because we just have one single solitary culture? And if you deviate from that, you're a threat to the culture, so we need to get rid of you to make us great? Like, that's what some people believe. Do you think that the United States is great because you can come from many cultures and many backgrounds and have many opinions and still be considered an equal? I like that one. I have a Filipino wife. I don't want somebody to come along and be like, hey, you're brown, you're Filipino, so you're kind of, sub whatever. Or you're an immigrant, so you're sub American. I don't want people to tell me that because of my religious beliefs, I'm a conservative evangelical, that I'm less of an American than somebody who's not, somebody who's Catholic or Buddhist or atheist. And you say, that's not the threat. Nobody's saying that. Right, but I don't want that to happen. Let's say that someday down the road, the majority of people in the United States are atheists, which seems to be the way things are trending. Give it 50 years and we'll see. I would be in the minority at that point, and I don't really want people to be like, ooh, Christian's bad, get out. You know how we protect that? Not by saying, like, instilling Christianity as the only thing that you can possibly believe here, but by saying, we accept a lot of different beliefs and a lot of different religions, and that's okay. Like, that's my view. I think we need to come to grips with that and not try to protect our one thing, but try to protect everybody's thing, right? Does that make sense? So, like, freedom of speech, you might say something I hate, but it should be okay, right? The government shouldn't come along and say, you can't say that, because that's super, super problematic. Okay, that's for free. Somebody says, I heard something about people at the White House. We aren't allowed live TV. So what's going on as a whole? That's a great question. I'll tell you what, maybe I'll put a link down below. I've kind of alluded to this in both my videos. Let me put a link down below where you can find a little bit more information. And if I don't do that, shoot me an email. I'll get it to you, okay? I'll tell you what, last question, because I have office hours in a few minutes. What are my thoughts about what happened at the Capitol? Answer that. What do I think America's doing to help minimize issues with COVID-19? Or how do I think we're doing? We're doing bad, guys. South Carolina is really rough. Our reporting is off the last couple days, but we're nearing, we're like 8,000 cases a day. I know DHEC is reporting lower numbers, but Johns Hopkins University, we're near like 10,000 cases a day, which is just crazy. And part of it is because some people think it's not a big deal, and lots of people aren't requiring folks to wear. Again, this is my opinion, but I think there's also some fact based on this. A lot of places aren't requiring people to wear masks. A lot of people refuse to wear masks. A lot of people are still gathering with large groups or even small groups that aren't taking precautions. And it's bad. And here's one of the reasons it's bad. The more cases of the virus are out there, the more likely it is to mutate. And we're starting to see that. There's a South American variant. There's a UK variant. There's a Brazil variant. They found another variant in Ohio, of all places. Now, these aren't variants that make it more likely to kill you. It just makes it quicker to spread, which you don't really want, right? So anyway, we really need to do something about this. And frankly, I'm happy to talk. You can ask me questions about this too, but when the vaccine is available to people, people really need to take it, because that makes it so you, even if the SARS-CoV-2 gets in your system, it doesn't develop into COVID-19, right? If you're not sure what I mean by that, one is the virus, one is the illness that it causes. And if it does, you basically have an asymptomatic case. That's really important, because if 1% of the people who get this thing die, which is about the numbers they're estimating, if 10 million people get it, let's see, 1% of 10 million is 100,000. That's bad. If every person in the United States gets it, that's 350 million people, then you have 3.5 million people who would die. Now, yeah, your chances of actually getting it and dying are slim, especially as kids. Even in my age group, it's pretty small. But the reality is it's concerning, because still that's a large number of people that I'm not willing to sacrifice, which is one of the reasons that we're, in our family, being very, very cautious. What's my primary worry as of now, starting in 2021? Man, it changes minute to minute. It could be the governmental situation. It could be COVID. It could be the economy, frankly, because it's going great right now. But what happens if COVID doesn't look like it's going to end as soon as we hope it does? That might not be great. So anyway, guys, those are my thoughts and answers to your questions. I have a couple more. There'll probably be another video coming, but hopefully this gets you something. Interact with me. Shoot me an email. Tell me you think I'm an idiot. Or, hey, good job, Mr. Gallion. Or just leave it in the comments below, and that'll be great. All right? We'll see you next time. Bye.